What up, guys? It's Mr. Harris. We're going to be doing 9.6, which is segment lengths in circles. And our rule for this is if we have two chords going through, so we have A, B, D, C, we're going to say our rule for this is A times B is equal to C times D. So if I look at number one, it's got to be on the same line. So 6 times x is equal to 3 times 4. So 6x is equal to 12. And we get x is equal to 2. If I do this, I have 8 times x, so 8x. And I'm going to just do 12 times 9. Quick maths is 108. And if I divide both sides by 8, I get 13.54x. And really, that's all there is to it. But if we get something kind of like number 3, I have x times x is equal to 3 times 7. So that gives me x squared is equal to 21. And how do we get rid of square root? How to get rid of squares? We square root both sides. But kind of just like last unit, we're not going to worry about the plus or minus because we cannot have negative segment lengths, or in this case, chord lengths. So x is equal to the square root of 21. And we want to keep this exact as possible. Do not put decimals. You will be marked wrong if you put decimals. For square roots. Regular stuff is fine, but when it comes to square roots, leave it as square roots. So for this one, I got 2x times x equals 5 times 4. So I get 2x squared, because x times x is x squared, equals 20. And I need to get x squared by itself before I can square root both sides. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. I get x squared is equal to 10. And to get x by itself, I got to get rid of that square, so I got to square root both sides. And I get x is equal to 10. And if you need to double check, you can always plug stuff back in and it should wind up working out. All right, and these two are probably the more difficult problems we have. I'm going to have x times x plus 3 equals 2 times 14. And we are going to distribute. We're going to make this yellow. Distribute. I get x squared plus 3x equals 2 times 14 is 28. And this looks like a problem from 9.5, which was factoring. I got to get this equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract 28 from both sides. And I get x squared plus 3x minus 28 is equal to 0. And this is something I can factor. I need two numbers that multiply to negative 28 but add up to 3x. So I have x plus 7 and x minus 4 equals 0. I set both of these things equal to 0. And I solve. I get x equals negative 7 and x equals positive 4. And this is where you need to be careful. If I put negative 7 in, that's a negative value for my chord. And we cannot have negative values. Always go with the positive answer. So x is equal to 4. If we look at number 6, I have x times x plus 6 equals 3 times 9. I have the same thing. I am going to distribute that x out. So I get x squared plus 6x equals 27. And whenever you get x squared and then at regular old x, think that you're going to factor. We're going to move the 27 over. X squared plus 6x minus 27 is equal to 0. I need two numbers that multiply negative 27 but add up to 6. So I have x plus 9 and x minus 3 equals 0. So I wind up getting x is equal to negative 9, x is equal to positive 3, and go with the positive. If you pick both of these, that will be wrong. Pick the positive one. Pick the positive one. And that is what we're going to do today. We will finish everything. We'll finish the rest of this lesson up later on.